Welcome back to the Sip of Brandy podcast. I am your host, Brandy. With me today is Thomas. April Fool's, bitches.
Yeah, Brandon, April Fool's isn't until, like, Saturday.
So, we don't know when they're listening to this.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Jen and Thomas podcast. I am your host, Thomas. It is Thursday, March 30th, and if you are listening, no matter what time of year, it is Thursday, March 30th, just so Brandon is perpetually in the wrong. And so, speaking of Brandon, are you familiar with, what's it called? Victorian England? Maybe before that, how there's like a court and then the court jester?
Oh, you mean like Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I was in the Assassin's Creed days, and I was in a court, and then the jester walks in, and it's none other than Brandon Churchill, and just proceeds to be a real jokester. So I was like, you know what? April Fool's is on the horizon. Come on to the show. And so with us today, special guest Brandon Churchill. How you doing?
I'm good. I have been called a jackass on this show before.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's nothing new here.
I remember. Good times. Our lovely co-host, who is here, because our co-hosts are always here.
All of them.
They're just being a little quiet today. I think they have laryngitis, so they're here. But anyway, Brandon, last week, it genuinely felt like I went half the show before doing a proper intro or like introducing the drink. So we're just going straight for the drink right now.
As it should be.
Okay, yeah. So today we have the Hairy Navel. And so, no taste test today because it's
any relation to the hairy nipple?
No,
that's buttery nipple. My bad.
Buttery nipple.
Isn't that a shot? I think it's a shot.
We're gonna do like an anatomical drink episode someday, but yeah. So no sample today because it's just orange juice, vodka, and peach schnapps.
So we're using a good classic Tito's.
Tito's vodka, a shot and a half of Tito's vodka, a shot of peach schnapps, 4 ounces of orange juice, and a cherry to garnish. So let's...
Okay.
I like it.
I get it.
A
little sweet for me.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like anytime I have orange juice, it's almost just a little too, like, sour for me. But not sour in, like, the citrusy way that I enjoy. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe it is just because of the sugar, so it tastes like a sour candy.
You know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of those seltzers that put two fruits together that probably shouldn't be together.
Oh, yeah. So you don't think it's a combo? You don't think it's a good one?
I understand what it's trying to do, but I don't think it's for me.
Yeah, so this is just an in-between of two different drinks, a screwdriver and a fuzzy navel.
Right.
And so a fuzzy navel is just orange juice and peach schnapps. And so anyway, I actually first heard of this drink.
Wait, so what is this called?
A hairy navel, because it's a little more.
Okay, hairy as opposed to fuzzy.
Yeah,
got it.
And so I had first heard of this drink in the show Archer. Are you familiar?
I am.
There's one. They were I think they were like underwater on some kind of submarine or on some kind of boat, and Archer was like desperate to like make a drink, and he's like, "Oh my god, if I don't find vodka, it's just gonna be a fuzzy navel." Mm-hmm. And that was like his whole like B plot of the episode. It was when they went underground or underwater to the Sea Lab, which is a reference to a different show that was on Adult Swim, which was like a continuation of a different show that was on Cartoon. It was a whole thing.
Is that voice the Bob's Burgers guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. If I don't find it. Yeah.
If you guys like Archer and if you like Bob's Burgers, I think it's Archer season 4 episode 1. He has like amnesia for some reason, and they're like, we found Archer. He's like working as like a restaurant owner in New Jersey, and he's just Bob, and they get all of the voice actors to like be the kids.
That's so funny.
And he like kills a bunch of people, and then Linda's like, oh my god, Bobby. He's like, Linda, I have to go. It's so funny. But he like
the crossovers.
It's just Bob's Burgers, and it is so funny.
Archer's Burgers.
Yeah, God, it was a really good episode. I love Archer. It's one of my top favorite shows. A certain romantic entanglement I used to have. You know how people are like, I watched The Office like 12 times. Me and this girl, we just nonstop Archer. We just love it. And then
I have seen a few episodes and I understand it, but I never really found it that entertaining to me.
Well, and the more you rewatch it, I think the better it gets.
Okay.
And then also the like, not to be like the more educated you are, but like the more you like learn about things, the better the show is because they have the most obscure references.
Yeah. I did watch it when I was relatively young.
Yeah. And like there are still so many that go over my head, but there will be like times where I'll be like, they'll like make a reference and I'll be like, is that like from like an old 1922 Fred Astaire movie or whatever? Like,
right. There's something
it is
you wouldn't
so
have.
deep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of I only stumble on those references by accident.
Right.
So
speaking of in that vein, there is a new Adult Swim show coming out. It's got Andrew Santino in it as one of the voices, but it's called, I think it's called like Crackers. Have you seen this?
No, I'm not a big Anthony Santino guy. Not like I have nothing against Andrew. I have nothing against him. I just don't like keep up with him.
No, that's fine. I'm just telling you that a pretty decent comedian is in it, and he is a big boozer like us. But no, I saw the ad on like YouTube or something, and I watched the whole ad, and it looks pretty good. It's about a family business, basically like Ritz crackers.
Okay.
So,
well, I'll definitely check it out because I like that kind of stuff in general. I just don't really know too much about that guy. But anyway, the drink, Brandon.
Yes.
The drink.
The drink.
So you kind of think of it as
too much going on.
Too much going on. I think this would be better if it was a little lighter and with less sugar.
Yeah. Yep. Almost as if like half of the orange juice was club soda or something.
Yeah, like make it into a little bit of a spritz. I feel like would be good.
Yep.
I don't know. I think maybe it is just. I don't know. I don't love it. It's not bad. I could slam a few of these back at like a brunch. I would have this over a mimosa.
Oh, agreed. You know what I would have over all of that?
What?
My version of the tequila sunrise.
Oh yeah. Well, we haven't had that yet.
I know.
We haven't had it on the show,
know,
which I'm looking forward to.
I would pick personally
the Soulard Sunrise.
We do have a sunrise.
Ooh, that kind of looks like Arizona actually. So our ambiance,
it's kind of buffering.
Yeah,
so
our ambiance
clear.
today is we're on like a little outdoor patio, looking at some kind of tall mountain
rock
hill
formation.
Thing. I don't know what the specific rock formation is, but it is a similar rock. I'm not a fucking geologist. I don't know what the different rocks are called, but it looks like Papago Park. If anyone listening is familiar with that, and we're just watching a nice little sunrise. Or is that a sunset?
Sunrise.
Oh yeah, we're looking east. It is a sunrise. Which is fun. That way is east, truly. Like we are actually looking east when we look at this.
Yes.
But, so anyway, the drink. For the reasons that I stated above, I am giving this 6 cartons of orange juice out of 10.
I will give it 5 buffalo chips.
Those of you at home can figure out the conversion rate on that. It's definitely not bad by any means. It's a lot better than like other breakfasty cocktails. I think that the orange juice is a little too dominating. So maybe the solution is less orange juice.
Potentially. I mean, orange juice is going to be dominating. It's a very strong liquid.
I mean, as that Alex Huberman guy, like orange juice is one of like the worst things that you can just fucking drink because it has so much sugar in it.
Oh yeah, I believe that. At least this has no added sugar.
Yeah.
I will say that Thomas got this because I don't know what the fuck I was going to say.
Thomas, leave that in. No, just kidding.
Oh, okay. No, I got it. Yeah, you can leave that in if you want. I don't care. I think maybe more vodka. But I'm always going to side on that.
Well, you know,
because you don't really taste the vodka in this. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is good. So maybe.
Well, okay?
You go and then I'll go.
I like to taste a little bit of my alcohol, so I am a little bit afraid of it.
We just talked about that. Remember?
Yes.
So I don't know if the video is going to be out yet. Okay. In this video that is going to be coming out soon, Brandon and I tried some seltzers, and we kind of like we like there are certain times when we drink things on here and we're like, wow, you really can't taste the alcohol, right? But we kind of came to this realization that maybe you don't want to taste like that alcohol taste, but we're like, you want a little bit of the bite and sharpness to it. And we kind of came to that revelation, which is a sneak peek into next week's episode. As I was actually thinking about that, had the gears turning.
Right.
This really just kind of tastes like a peachy fruit juice.
If you want to drink in the morning and you don't want to feel like you're really drinking, this would be the one.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the point of a mimosa.
Do you need
Yeah, I had a little bit of.
Yeah.
Now I'm crisp again. Yeah, so it's similar to a mimosa.
Yeah. So, but what I would maybe change about this is I would keep the recipe relatively the same. Use your peach schnapps, I also referenced this in the video that's coming out. Kettle One has like these infused vodkas, and I think they have like a peach and rose water vodka.
Okay.
I think if you do the peach schnapps and the peach and rose water vodka with this, it's going to bring out a little more of that peach, because I feel like the peach is just so hidden in here.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
That's what I would do to like elevate this drink without just changing the drink.
You do taste the peach.
Yeah.
But it's very subtle.
I would maybe like a little more.
Or maybe
so
like
I would maybe do that.
Garnish with a peach.
Yeah. And we garnish this with a cherry, but I would maybe do that with the infused vodka, and then maybe do only like 2 or 3 ounces of orange juice.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it's a lot of orange juice.
You can pair this, or you can garnish this with an orange.
Yeah.
It does say, actually, I think it does say to do
on
a
the
cherry
recipe.
and an orange.
Yeah, but I don't got time
I'm not
for
going to
that.
waste the middle of an orange for 2 drinks.
No. But anyway, so a little bit of the history on the drink. I only have like the fuzzy navel history because it's the same thing, just throwing a shot of vodka. You know what I mean?
True.
So a fuzzy navel is a mixed drink made from peach schnapps and orange juice. Generally, an equal amount of each component is used to concoct it, although quantities may vary. Obviously, from the recipe that I got.
No kidding.
It can also be made with lemonade or a splash of vodka, depending on the drinker's taste.
Lemonade.
Yeah, but it would need to be one of those like lemony lemonades, not those sugary lemonades.
Right.
The addition of another shot or shot and a half of vodka to the fuzzy navel creates a hairy navel, the more hair referring to the increased strength of the alcohol in the drink. A hairy navel or fuzzy Russian recipe may include 1 part vodka, 1 part peach schnapps, and 4 parts orange juice. So this is a hairy navel or a fuzzy Russian.
Okay. I think I like the name Fuzzy Russian better.
I like that too, especially because I'm reading some Russian books right now. I'll get into that later. So the history. In 1984, National Distillers launched De Cooper. I've never said it out loud. What's that brand? De Cooper? De Cooper?
Oh, yeah, no, I have no idea how to say that. De Kuiper?
De Kuiper.
De Keeper?
National Distillers launched De Kuiper Original Peach Tree, the first peach-flavored schnapps sold in the United States. Inspired by the screwdriver, Peachtree and orange juice was quickly popularized across the country, particularly among women seeking a sweeter, low-calorie vodka alternative. By 1985, Peachtree was the top-selling schnapps brand in the United States. So that's about the history. That's about all I got for this.
So what do we want to call it?
This is interesting. So it's not named after like the body part, like your navel, your belly button. So fuzzy refers to the peach and navel to the orange, navel oranges.
Oh.
That is pretty interesting. A fuzzy navel is sometimes also called a cold Medina, a popular nickname started by the Beastie Boys, Flavor Flav, who worked on the same record label as them at the time, who would use cold Medina or funky cold Medina as an affirmation. I don't really know what that means, but anyway, pretty interesting stuff. Not a bad drink, just not the. I mean, we say not a bad drink, but we both just downed ours.
What do we want to call this? Are we going to go with the hairy navel?
I don't know. I mean, we can call it a fuzzy Russian. I think that's more fun.
I like the fuzzy Russian name.
Well,
or
okay,
are we going to do a second drink where we try to tweak it?
We can do whatever you want.
And then maybe we'll decide on the names after.
Well, we can just call this one a fuzzy Russian because that's what that thing said that this is.
Okay, we'll call it a fuzzy Russian.
Yeah.
Fuzzy Russian it is.
Well, and speaking of Russian, so I'm reading some Russian books, not Russian literature like Dostoevsky and any of that. So I'm reading the Metro book series. right now, written by Dmitry Gluskovsky, which makes me sad because he's like wanted by the Russian government because he spoke out against the Ukraine war.
Yeah, that's how
But
it goes.
so for those of you that know, there's a video game series called Metro. There's Metro 2033, Metro Last Light, and Metro Exodus. I love all of those games. I'm actually replaying Metro Exodus right now. But I am also reading the series that the games are based on. Me and a friend are doing like a little book club. I've already read the first book, but I'm just rereading the whole thing on audiobook, of course.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But anyway, I really like it. It's just really cool. So for that reason, Fuzzy Russian.
Okay. Question for you, because I know we've talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, what's up?
We just finished The Last of Us last night.
Yeah.
The first season.
How did you like it?
I really liked it as a series.
Mm-hmm.
The last episode was very intense.
I felt it was a little rushed.
Yes.
I would have liked maybe a little more of him, like, walking around in, like, disbelief. Like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? But it was just also a very short episode. I don't know, but anyway, go on. So you liked it.
My question for you, because I do you not like the second season because of the ending of the first season?
No, I just think the second game is really bad.
Okay.
And
we don't need to get too in detail because I don't want any spoilers.
No, I'm not going to spoil anything. So it's actually similar to what happened to Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I'll connect to in a second. So the first game was written by like a group of people, and I forgot the guy's name, but the lead writer of The Last of Us was like really good, and he left. And so over The Last of Us 2, Neil Druckmann became the lead writer, and I just don't think he's a talented writer.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of like plot conveniences, and the entire story depends on people consistently making the worst decision at every possible turn.
Okay.
But then the guy is like, yeah, man, just goes to show being, seeking revenge isn't good. But it's like, at a certain point, I would just be like, fuck, it's the apocalypse. I don't have time to worry about this.
Okay, so...
And they also make you, and so this isn't like a spoiler, it's like advertised, but a portion of the game you spend playing as like the bad guy. And I really just don't care about them. Gotcha. The pacing of the game is bad because you'll be like going through the whole, and this would be fixed in the show. This is just the problem I had with the game.
Right.
But like you kill like 100 people to get to like Brandon, and then like I kill you, and then I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? It's like, what about all the other fucking people I just whatever.
Yeah.
But no, they just spend too much time on characters that I don't care about. I know a lot of people like the game, and then I know a lot of people dislike the game, but for like playing as a woman,
oh my God,
they're gay.
Shut up.
Yeah, so people don't like the game for bad reasons, and then when people like me who just don't like the game because they don't like the game, they're like, are you one of those fucking hates the gays and the ladies and the whatever? And it's like, no, I just don't think it's well written.
So that's why I'm curious to see the second season, because they do have some pretty good writers on there. So I wonder if...
Well, see, Neil Cuckman, as I like to call him, also wrote the show. But I have a lot of problems with the show. I thought it was really good, but I also have a lot of issues with it.
I understand.
Like, I'm never going to go back and rewatch it. But a show like,
I have no need to.
Yeah. But I've like rewatched...
Because the surprises are enough for the one time, and then after that I don't need them.
Yeah, but like in another show, this is just an HBO show. It's not really connected, but like I've like rewatched Peacemaker a few times, or if another zombie thing, like the first few seasons of Walking Dead, I've rewatched a lot, but I have no desire to go back to
You know what I rewatched? That's an HBO show? Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah, that pack of fucking nerds.
So good, dude.
Oh, and this was my thing about Avatar. My friends are rewatching Avatar, so that's how I remembered this. So same thing is there was a lead writer, or one of the writers for Avatar: The Last Airbender that was really good, and he left after the show was done, and then they made Legend of Korra, which I don't think Legend of Korra is a good show. But hold on, one unfair advantage I will give Avatar is they were like cleared for 3 seasons right when they started, so they were able to write the whole story.
Oh,
but Legend of Korra
could run the arcs better.
Yeah, but Legend of Korra was meant to be 1 season, and then they, like it was just going to be this like little mini series, and then it got like approved for a 2nd season out of a severely reduced budget, so the animation was trash, And then I thought the season 2 of Legend of Korra might be some of the worst television I've ever seen in my life. It's
there's some worse stuff out there.
No,
I
it's
promise
genuinely so bad, and I don't want to say it's not like character assassination. It's like lore assassination. They just add all this stuff that doesn't fucking matter, and whatever. I don't want to get into it. And then seasons 3 and 4 are just stupid, and they take away of less of like elemental bending being this like ancient form of martial arts. Is it just being like, oh, it's magic, you know? But so Brian Konietzko, sorry everybody for butchering his name, I just don't know how to say it. He became like the lead writer, and I don't think he is a good writer, and I also think that he doesn't necessarily like a lot of his own characters. So in Legend of Korra, he like kind of does them dirty, but like it's... I don't know. It's just also like not fleshing out the world in a realistic way, and like there's this.
So who's this guy?
He's like he's one of the creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender, but then he became like the writer after like the guy that was really good at it left.
So did he write the show The Last of Us? Is that
no? This is just a similar situation of like the sequel series.
Gotcha.
But what was I just about to say? Shoot, and this is something that I want to bring up with people. So let's say there's a world where magic exists. And so between Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, like hundreds of years of technological advancements happen within like 40 years, or 50, 60 maybe. But I wonder if magic was real, I think we would have less technological advancements because you wouldn't need them. I think culture would advance in a very specific but different way.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Which I would think would be, if there's any like fantasy writers out there, or if anyone has like books recommendations. But what would like what if we were like, it's like 500 years ago, or even like 1,000 years ago, people had like magic. Well, I don't think society would develop in the same way, and it becomes like a San Francisco, like what happens in the show. But like,
have you seen the movie? Oh fuck, what's that movie called? It's a Disney one. It's a really new Disney one, but it's essentially there was magic and creatures.
Yeah.
And then somebody developed technology, and then they didn't have a need for magic anymore.
Yeah.
So then you have like centaurs riding around in cars.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, so something like that, but I want to see the other side. Like, what is it
I
like
have to
if
look
we
up this
don't
movie because it's going to kill me. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, that's the idea behind, what is, like Naruto.
Really? I'm not a weeb. I don't watch those shows.
Isn't that the idea that like...
I haven't seen it, Brandon. I don't know.
They have different technology based on magic, quote unquote magic?
I don't know. But you know, Brandon, this is actually going to lead us into our next topic, but I don't have time for all of your fucking shows, because what's my time worth? You know what I mean? I got too much shit going on.
Yes. And that runs into...
So I don't have time for your weeb shit.
Shut up. that runs into, like... when say you get a job,
and
you go through interviews and everything, they're like, you have the job, and you're like, sweet dude, I got the job. Then they go, here's your pay, and then you got to think, and not only here's your pay, but here's your hours.
Yeah.
Then you got to go, okay, if I'm working these amount of hours, which is more than the standard,
okay,
what's my time worth?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be working these crazy hours and not getting paid what you deserve to be paid in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, what is my free time worth?
Exactly. Which is a problem that I ran into really recently. So I teased this on our last episode, but I was like, it's been kind of dark times, and hopefully I'll have some good news for us. So I'm not going to name names yet, but anyone that knows me can put two and two together. So I recently just left the job. This job was one of the contributing factors to me moving to St. Louis, and I took a pretty substantial pay cut to do it, and I wasn't exactly able to do the job I like doing. But this place was like, it's honestly one of the worst run organizations I've like ever had in my life. And I'm going to keep this a secret for either I'm going to marry Taylor Swift so that I can send all of like the Swifties to be the downfall of this place, or if we're ever like famous enough to be on like Joe Rogan and Hot Ones, I'll just be like, name check, like, oh, this place sucks, go like fucking review bomb them. But this place was causing me like cognitive dissonance. It's one of the worst run organizations. The way that they operate goes against like their stated mission, and it just was not good. And it's like really sad. Like so many of the people there like wake up, like they have like stress dreams. I started going gray after I started working there.
Jesus.
It was just so bad. And they're not interested in fixing anything. I went to HR for like a couple of issues that I was having, and they told me to either quit or go to therapy.
Oh my God.
I'm like, all right, well,
that's not a healthy place to work
and
at
I was
all.
like, well, I like moved here to work here, and you guys don't pay me enough to build up a savings that I can quit. And their attitude is very like, you should feel lucky to have a job here. We are such an esteemed organization.
Just because you're esteemed doesn't mean you're worth working there.
And it is just, and I just like, and when I was quitting, I was like, I don't see a path for either myself or anyone else to be successful here. And then they're like, well, what would success be to you? I'm like, well, to start being paid what I'm worth to do a job I enjoy, and you guys can't offer me either of those. And they're like,
you got a point. There's nothing we can do.
And like, it's because they know they underpay, and then they're like, oh well, one of the upper management people is like, yeah, well, I always advocate for you guys to make more money, but that's like an HR thing. It's like, okay, but when I got hired, you're the one that told me you wouldn't negotiate my pay. Like,
right.
You didn't say, oh sorry, that's just the base pay or whatever. You just said, no, I'm gonna hire you. Like, you could have pushed it on HR, whatever. It's past, but like I'm past it, so I don't want to worry about it anymore.
Well, the other part of that problem is the people that think the same way, where they're like, it is an esteemed place to work. Yeah. It's been my dream to work here, and they've worked there for 50 years for the same fucking pay.
Yeah, and it's like really like weird, and they don't tell you the salary range for your job. Like if you
Glassdoor that shit.
Exactly. Well, yeah, no. So you have to look it up. But if you go to them and ask them, hi, what is the pay range for my position? They won't tell you.
Right.
And they're like, well, the only time that you would ever max out if you've been here for like 15 years without a promotion. But if that happens, then there's like other problems. There's like 4 people there that are in that position that are really good at their job and they're really nice. But this place is just so openly playing favorites.
Yeah.
Because we had an all-staff meeting the day I quit. And in that meeting, they had like, oh, this is our fucking graph thing that I don't know why I'm like talking with my hands like the listeners can see. I'm like pointing to an imaginary whiteboard, but they're like, these are the things like if you want to get promoted, obviously like work ethic, knowledge of the stuff, all of this. And they're like, and all of that's really important, but most importantly, it's a positive attitude and blah blah blah. And the way they went into it is they said like, we want you to be knowledgeable about this. But then they started to like discredit everything they said. And they're like, well, years of experience isn't important, and this isn't as important as whatever. And they pretty much just boiled down to like, if we like you, we'll promote you.
Oh, Jesus.
It's really fucked up because there are some people that are like, I've been here like my whole career. And there's this one lady I was talking to on my last day because I was telling her about my new job, which I have a new job set up that I'm going to be starting soon. I was telling her about it. And she was like, oh, I would love to do something like that, but I'm just like too afraid that I'm too old to hire now because the places like, they don't want me to like quit or retire on them and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, the people at this place are just so emotionally defeated. And like when I was leaving, everyone was just like, damn, bro, you got out.
Oh my God.
It's fucking sad.
Guess what? And this goes for all of you listening. You can leave. You do not need to stay in your situation, regardless of what I'm talking about, rather it be work or personal life. You can leave.
It's scary. It's hard. A lot of people will choose to stay in a known hell than to step into an unknown headheaven. It's scary.
Better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
Exactly. But it's scary, man. It was a big decision, but like my new job is going to be doing what I like to do and paid more. And that's the other thing. On my exit interview, they're like, what could we have done to get you to stay? I'm like, pay me this and let me do this. Like what?
Or pave the path for me to get to where I need to go.
But it's just, see, I can't go too deep, but the place I was working for, it makes no sense that like the job I want to do, it makes no sense that they don't have that position or that they don't let people do that. Like
right.
If you knew what kind of like place it was, the listener, you would know where I was.
Yep.
But like what I like to do or what I'm good at, And the fact that there's not an opportunity to do that at the place I was working is insane.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's like your whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like if you like were a fucking nurse at a hospital and then you're like, hi, yes, I've been shot. I'm like, oh, sorry, we don't have an emergency room. That's not what we do here. But we are the forefront of medical stuff.
I would liken it to a yeah, I guess it's like a hospital where you want to be an
Or
ER.
a hospital and we're like, sorry, we don't have penicillin. We don't do that here.
I think a hospital might be a bad analogy.
I don't know. Danielle's a nurse and obviously she's here. She's the co-host, but
I would liken it to where I used to be, where I was...
We build trucks, but we don't have wheels.
No, I was a CAD drafter. A product designer was my title, but they would only hire engineers.
Yeah. Oh, instead of art people? Or what do you mean?
You could do what I did with a 2-year degree.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you kind of needed to know material.
Yeah.
Like materials, but you could get by without knowing that.
Because I could just ask you.
You could ask your supervisor.
Oh, yeah.
Or you could ask the guys in the shop, because those guys who are handling that stuff daily know what it's about. Or you could ask the structural guy that they made a position for.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wanted to be an engineer and get paid like an engineer, but they refused to do that.
That's very close to what I had. I'm like, I'm this, why don't you pay me like this? And I'm like, oh, sorry.
Exactly my point.
Oh my God. You know what else too? Is so this place I was at, they are like, we're very, we advocate for college. We're an institution of knowledge, and knowing your stuff is very important. First of all, this place doesn't offer tuition reimbursement, which I feel like is a little dirty, because the place I'm going to now is just like a place, and they offer tuition reimbursement. I actually get a discount on one of the nearby schools if I were to enroll. But anyway, but this place, they're all about like having all this fucking knowledge, and if you don't have like a master's degree, they're like constantly shitting on you, but you don't even get paid more for having a degree, which if you have a master's degree, I think that should give you like a general bump because of the pure knowledge, and then you could balance it out with like years of experience if you don't graduate. But like I never graduated college. But, like, I'm still getting paid the same as someone with a master's degree. But then they're like, well, Thomas, since you didn't finish college, you're really lucky to be doing this here. And it's like...
But you have certifications.
Yeah. But I'm still just like...
Is basically college.
Yeah, but I'm like,
certification.
Why would I fucking go and finish college so I can still just be fucking broke all the time?
Right.
But, oh, shoot, where was I going with this? Oh, right, so I have another analogy for you, and this is a hospital analogy that a nurse friend of mine made. But the way that this place is like a snake eating its own tail, not the Ouroboros thing, but like a snake eating its tail so that it has the food to grow a tail. Like it's cannibalizing itself.
Yeah.
And it's like they got like... The way that like I described it, and then it was like thrown back at me. It's like imagine if you're like at a hospital and you're like an ICU nurse, and they're like, well, actually, we know you have all this experience in the ICU, but we're actually going to put you in psych, okay? And then they put all of these ICU people in psych, and then they're like, oh my gosh, we're really short staffed, and we don't have anyone with ICU experience, so we're just going to have to hire psych nurses. And it's like at this place I was at, it's like. Everyone
was in the wrong position.
They're in the wrong position. They're like, it's so weird. They're like, oh
you
yeah,
got PhDs cutting grass.
Yeah, pretty much. And like everyone is just in like the wrong space. Like I get there, and the job they had me doing, I have zero experience in. But then the job I want to be doing, some kid is like, I don't know what this is. Please help me.
And then you're like, it's this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I'm like, can we just fucking switch? You know what I mean? No shit. So much like, oh my God, dude, whatever. It's okay. I'm past it.
It's gone. It's gone.
And they just fucking lie to you, but whatever. Once the appropriate amount of time has passed, I'll tell you guys. But if you know me, you know what it was. So fucking comment below. Comment on the Instagram, I guess.
I think it's time for a second drink.
I think it's time. I need to calm down. I
think it's time for a second drink, sir.
All right.
I have to tell you what's in this before... I forget.
Okay. And I have one last thing to say about my rant, and then we're moving on.
Okay.
You go first.
So this version is 1.5 ounce vodka,
Okay.
1.5 ounce peach schnapps, 3 ounce orange juice, and 1.5 ounce club soda.
Oh, okay. I was about to be like, another fucking shot?
I think either 1.5 ounce or 3 ounce club soda. I think it's 1.5, but
it's not super bubbly. But I think this fixes a lot of my problems.
it's a lot lighter,
Yeah.
less syrupy.
Yeah, and I think that's what my biggest problem was. Is just like that, like the like you said, lighter. It's just because the orange juice was just so heavy.
So it's less orange juice, more schnapps, and cut with the club soda.
Yeah. But so anyway, I just wanna get this out of the air because I thought of this analogy as soon as I fucking walked out of my quitting, and dude, I like quit in the way that I want to. Like, as I had like a meeting, and then they're like, oh, so, and I set up this meeting because in my review they said like, Thomas, you're a little too vocal about your displeasure with a lot of the things here. I'm like, you know what, you're absolutely right. We should meet about this. So I set up my own meeting, and I forgot about it, and then they like reminded me. I'm like, all right, well, it's now or never. And I just fucking did it. And they're like, so you know what's the resolution here? I'm like, there isn't one. I quit. Right. But anyway, when I walked out, I realized, like, this place, it's like a tyranny without a tyrant. It just exists to perpetually exist. Like, it's only, this place, its only job is to continue existing, but without actually, like, moving towards a goal. And you could say, like, oh, well, that's a lot of companies or a lot of organizations, but this place, like, specifically says, like, this is our mission and this is what we are trying to do. But they never get closer. They're just only to survive to be another day, like, without fixing anything. And their attitude is, because this place has been around for so long, we are not going anywhere, so we don't even need to try to be good. That is like the general idea of the place. Oh my gosh. I probably just gave away, that was a huge hint on what this place is. But anyway, whatever. But that's it. But I have a new job that I'm starting on Monday. I'm very excited. It's getting back to what I'm good at. It's getting back to what I like to do. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Right. I'm just trying not to be a contractor anymore. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. But which brings me to another thing is, and I know like every episode for like a while, I'm like, oh, sorry guys, I just got to get the time to make all these clips. So one reason why I had like zero time is because I started a second job. And I put in my 2 weeks for that job. I mean, I said, like, hey, if I can just do 1 or 2 days a month, that would be cool because I like doing this side job. But I'm like a lot because it's like, because I came to this realization. So my new job is going to pay me more than my old job and this part-time job combined. And so I was realizing, like, a friend of mine bought me tickets to see the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks play. And those of you that don't know, and longtime listeners already know, is I'm from Arizona.
The Cardinals?
The Diamondbacks.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, oh, cool. Like, I would love to go see my old team and my new team play. I'm like, oh, man, I'd have to, like, schedule out a day off from this part-time job and all that. I'm like, I shouldn't be, like, struggling to just have a day off. And, like, you know, you and I used to just hang out a lot more, and now it's just like, oh, well, we're either hanging out when you get off work or when I get off work. And I want us to be able to go out and, like, do some bro shit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I have an idea for some stuff that we need to do.
And, like, I want to be more available to do videos. I don't want it to always us just trying to schedule around each other.
After 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday.
And I just want to... I don't know, man. I want to fucking go for a bike ride. The farmer's market's going to be back soon. And so I'm just ready to just, you know. But, and that's the other thing I was talking about too, is like this podcast. And I said this to you before air. So we're coming up on like 20 episodes. And pretty soon we're going to be at like a 6-month mark. It's time for me to be taking this podcast as seriously as I realistically can. Like, I want to dedicate the time to it, to be like making clips and putting the feelers out there and see how I can grow the show, because as much fun as it is with like playing pretend radio, I would like this podcast to be something. That's why I started it with you, and I didn't just start it by talking to myself in the void.
Right.
So, and like our listeners, I hate to brag, but we got like the most loyal listeners, dude.
Oh hell yeah.
So there's the people that I know that listen to this. But then there are just the people that I don't know that are consistently listening every week. And like, shout out to you guys. And I feel
You're the real ones.
And I'm worried that about our Belgium Brussels boy. He hasn't reached out, or she. I don't know who's listening. But maybe the geography isn't as accurate as I would like it to be. And so if you are in or around Belgium and you listen to all of our episodes, maybe you're not exactly in Brussels, but you are who I'm talking to. There's no one else near you. I have one listener in Belgium, and you are it, or in and around Belgium. So reach out to the show somehow.
Please.
I'll send you a T-shirt. You know, I don't know.
You could have the first production T-shirt.
Oh yeah, which I gotta take a picture, and that I fucking got my protein powder on it like the second day I had it, and I was like, God damn it. Oh yeah, but that's the other thing. I am releasing the logo now. We recorded a little thing that I never put out, but we do have a logo created by the wonderful Natalie Barbieri here in St. Louis. And so she made our logo, which I really like. And my friend, on my last day of work, he got it put onto a T-shirt for me. And so I wore it in an upcoming video that you have coming out. And so that's a little sneak preview. So I'm going to be announcing the logo. I'm going to be putting it on Instagram. I'm going to release our little clip that we made that I never put out. Again, dude, because I never had any free time and I was down in the dumps. So I don't know. But I'm seeing the sun come up over the mountain.
Big things to come.
Big things to come. Because the listeners like this show. Like people... also, we only have 4.6 stars on Spotify. Who the fuck didn't rate us 5 stars?
I know who.
We'll tell them to fix it, because I don't need that on our track record.
I think you know who, too.
Oh, that bitch. Probably. If you're listening and it was you...
You son of a bitch, dude.
And also, we're not going to get confirmation for another, 6 months when they finally get to this episode.
Also, if you did it as a joke, there's no gratification... Because no one else sees the joke.
Yeah.
It's just we're not 5 stars.
Yeah, and we only have 10 ratings, so one lower
1 out
review
of 10
fucking throws the whole thing off. But yeah, thank you to everyone that's rated and reviewed. Thank you to everyone that listens. This is and that's my whole quitting story. It's I'm really turning it around. I've been going to the gym. I've been eating right. I'm pulling myself out of the knots. I'm finding my plant room. There's a throwback.
Hey, find the plant room.
Find your plant room. And remember, last week I was saying I'm kind of struggling with my relationship with alcohol. It's not going as healthy as I would like.
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy, but it's getting there. So I nearly broke, and I actually made myself a cocktail last night by myself. I made a Negroni.
And that's not a cocktail. It's just poison.
Yeah. But in the last episode, I said I'm not going to drink by myself. And I made it thinking the whole time, what am I doing? You know what I mean? And then I had a couple of sips of it, and I just wasn't interested. And I just poured it out.
Wow.
And I don't know. I felt good about it because I like a Negroni, but I need to embody what the show is about. It's sharing a drink with friends.
Correct.
And don't drink alone.
Right.
And so that's what I did. So I held myself accountable, which is hard to do. I want to pat myself on the back with that one, Brandon.
There you go, buddy. And I know you're flexible enough to do it.
Yeah.
You could pat your shoulders with your knees if you like.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, that's the other thing. So I found out. I just showed this off to Brandon. I guess I found out that... Do you hear that? Oh, it's my headphones. Okay. So I found out that apparently most people can't touch their knees to their shoulders, standing up and you just pull your knee to your shoulder, without using your arms.
Right.
And I can't pull it up and hold it there, but if I just go I can do it. But I found out most people can't do that. I'm but I can do that.
Mm.
So I've been showing it off to everybody. No one cares. They're wow.
Wow, you look stupid as shit.
Yeah. And so yeah. But anyway, I don't know, man. What's your time worth? That's what a lot of this has come down to.
What's your time worth?
And I think that's really important.
Your commute to work.
That's why I'm moving. Because I have to be closer to this new job. I hate driving. That's just wasted time.
Your commute to work, your overtime, pay, And
what's your time worth with what you're doing? It's one thing to maybe take a little less money if you're doing something that you really enjoy and something you really believe in. But to get underpaid and do something you don't like, there's nothing there for you.
Right.
Like, I mean, at least pick one. And Robert Greene said this. He's the author of the 48 Laws of Power book and some of his other ones. And a lot of people don't like him because he has very like controversial book titles. But I think the books are pretty good. But if you listen to any interview with him, he's very like insightful and he's very like empathetic. And so he's a very nice person. Yeah. But a lot of people think his books make him to be some sociopath. But he said something. He's like, you know, when you're young, like, you really do have the rest of your life to pursue money, and you do have to chase money in order to survive, but it's just like, what is it? What's all of your time worth now? But what's it worth when you're like old and you've spent your entire career in a job you don't even like, or something you don't even believe in? And so I'd rather just chase what I feel good about and what I'm good at, and then the money will come in time. Which I guess it doesn't even matter because I'm getting paid more to do what I like to do now. So it kind of fizzles out. But you have to have agency in your life. You have to have choice over your own. You have to like choose what your own actions are, you know? So you have to feel fulfilled in some way. But you can't be underpaid in a job you hate. You have to pick one.
Right.
And I understand maybe you can't quit your job tomorrow, but you have to figure it out. And that was really hard for me because where I worked was a big reason of why I moved here. And it's like, and there are some other factors that didn't work out. I'm like, fuck, was this just a failure? But these are all just dominoes that led me here. So I have some good things coming. These things didn't have to work out, but they had to exist to pull me here.
Right.
You know, I don't know if any of that made any sense. But I don't know. Anyway, what about you, Brandon? You nothing to say there?
just letting you rant. I'm just letting the rant breathe.
Yeah, I don't know, man. God, this drink is good.
It's better, right?
Yeah, I'm a lot less. This brought me down from my I was on the ledge. This took me off the edge.
I am not a mixologist. I am a fixologist.
Ooh, that's a t-shirt. Fixologist.
I'm a fixologist. I know what's wrong with your fucking drink.
And that's a little bit of a twofer because you like to fix cars. You know some engineering shit. You can fix something that's wrong. Brandon Churchill, fixologist extraordinaire.
Hell yeah, brother.
Fucking honorary doctorate in fixology.
From what school would that be from? Where would I get my fixology degree?
Balso Hard University.
Balso. God damn it.
Which is ASU, actually. Terrell Suggs, on his football thing, he'd be like, Terrell Suggs, Balso Hard University. It's ASU.
Just because he went to ASU doesn't mean...
Yeah, for like 5 minutes.
Doesn't mean that that's what he refers to it as.
No, well, that's where he went.
I know that's where he went.
But if you Google...
Maybe he's so upset that he went there that
but if you
he's changing it to say, I ball so hard
But if you
University.
Google Balso Hard University, link to ASU.
Oh, my God.
On my dating profiles, I used to say that I went to Wakanda Tech, and then they were like, "I didn't know that was a real place." I was like, "Oh yeah, Wakanda." I went to college in Africa at Wakanda Tech.
Yeah,
not Wakanda State. That was our rival.
You ever seen the movie?
Yeah,
they made a whole movie about it.
Yeah, it's like
Black Panther.
In real life, it's just not secret,
I was a minority.
Yeah. It was like an affirmative action program. I was the only white boy there.
I got a full ride because I was a minority or something.
I actually had a sports scholarship for hockey. They needed some white guys on that team.
Bobsledding.
Yeah. Yeah. We still lost to the Jamaican bobsled team, though.
There are rifles.
Majored in fixology.
Fixology.
I love that, dude. Dude, there's just... what's so funny is sometimes...
This is why we record things, by the way.
Yeah.
Because we come up with such good shit that needs to be on tape.
And that's why our friendship
listen to me.
That's why our friendship doesn't exist outside of the podcast. Because, we'll start to say something. Like, save it for the podcast. But, oh, gosh.
That's how we came up with the topic for today.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was.
We're just talking as we're setting up. And I was like, hey,
I know.
what's your time worth?
Yeah, but I remember we were talking about this a couple of days ago. We're like, is there a... We were kind of saying, like, April Fool's is coming up. Is there something there? And so I looked up April Fool's cocktails,
Oh,
like April Fool's themed, because I didn't know. I didn't, because that's the nearest.
anything with Malort in it?
No, it was just all like things that are gross to trick your friend with.
That's what I should have got, was some Malort shots that we needed to take.
Well, there was one. It was a shot, but it was just egg whites. And then they're like, prank your friend, say it's like a vodka shot or something, but it's just egg whites.
First of all, you can...
Or maybe it was like egg whites and lemon juice, and like, tell them it's a lemon drop.
I was going to say, first of all, you can't say it's vodka because it's not clear.
Well, yeah.
Egg whites
but it was
are milky.
something, and they were all just gross. And I'm like, but how do you Google that? Serious April Fool's cocktail. So...
No, they're all going to be jokes and pranks. You know that.
So we didn't go with that. But I don't know why this popped into my head, but I was just like, oh, like that drink on Archer.
Because it's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know
funny
why
name.
I thought of it.
April Fool's is kind of funny.
Yeah, I was just going through what
That makes
vodka
sense.
cocktails, because that's the other thing is we need to start introducing some other spirits into the show.
I mean, there's a lot of liqueurs out there.
Yeah, so we need to do some liqueurs.
Like
You're
Grand Mariner is like a liqueur,
You're
right?
gonna have to suck it up because we have to do a mezcal soon.
I don't mind. It's fine. I mean, technically, what used to be considered a tequila is now a mezcal.
Yeah, that's
so
very true. But it's just hard because I'm just like, oh, we did rum. So I mean, there's going to be a certain point where I just don't care about it.
We only did one rum, didn't we? Oh, no, we did two because of
Yeah.
the Cuba Libres.
Not next week's episode, but the episode after that, I want to do rum. Oh my gosh! And I have so many drinks lined up. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the other thing. With this other job, with me making a little bit more money, I'm going to be able to... I also just need to get an LLC so I can write this shit off on my taxes.
Please.
And like I said, we're going to start taking the show more seriously.
I got a business credit card you should get.
You have one?
No, I have one in mind that you should get.
The Jen and Thomas National Bank? No. Yeah, we're expanding, everybody.
It's an accredited bank.
No, but it's like, because I was at the liquor store today picking up something, but I was just like, there's so much stuff here that like I want us to try, but like I don't know what to do with that, and so I'm gonna like be researching this stuff a little more, and I'm just excited to where the show is gonna be going.
Well, that would help you with your drinking too, because then you'd be like, well, that was the business expense. I can't drink this on my personal time,
well,
so it has to be set aside in your podcast box.
And the other thing is too is the drinks that are way too complicated to make. I don't like them at home. I tell you what, for a while, my favorite drink at home was
Born on the
Baijiu, which I need to figure out like another Chinese or Asian holiday coming up because there's a different Baijiu drink that I'm really excited to bring because it's going to launch us into a different conversation that I'm going to really enjoy. And I think Danielle, who's obviously right here, I think she will really enjoy the topic for that day.
Okay.
Oh my God, and I have so many drinks for Tina's. Oh. I'm so excited. Guys, I'm just saying, be excited.
Yeah.
Be excited for the show. But I don't know, Brandon. There's a lot going on. This is a bit of a lot of transformation going on. Things are looking up.
Yeah.
Sorry that this was just like my therapy session.
Isn't that what a podcast is?
Yeah. Men don't go to therapy. They just start podcasts.
No. Men sit around and drink and talk to their friends. They don't need therapy.
That's very true.
That's not true. If you think you need therapy, go to therapy. A lot of people should go to therapy.
It's not going to hurt. Hopefully. If it does, then I'm sorry.
You can start by talking to your friends about your emotions. Start there.
Yeah, and if you're the friend, you don't be afraid to be like, that's beyond me, man.
Yeah. Dude, listen. Growing up, people would tell me their fucking problems, and I'd have to go, I think you should see somebody.
Yeah.
And this is me at like 12. all those crazy kids in junior high cutting themselves. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
I think you should see somebody.
I thankfully was never in that place.
No, but I knew a lot of people that
Me
did.
too.
It's like, hey, I think you should see somebody.
Those scars stick around, man.
Or like a friend of yours would tell you something fucked up, and you're like, I think you should tell a professional. I don't have the degree to tell you what to do in this situation or how to respond to that. There, young one. Like, Jesus.
All right, I had a short cherry stem, but I fucking got it. Yeah, it's rough. I mean, this is just like a little bit of a finding your plant room extension, but like if you're in a bad situation, you got to get out of it. Don't be afraid to rely on your friends, but don't get upset if your friends are like, "Yo,
Yeah, you need some friends that'll tell you how it is too,
bro." And you know what's fucking crazy, man? This is something that I see in somebody I know. They don't listen to the podcast because they're not a supportive friend, so it's fine.
Wow, but not a friend. Then
there are people. And I think there's something to say about the toxic positivity and the toxic self-help culture.
Oh,
but there are
I know
people.
What you're talking about.
There are people who confuse therapy and like reading self-help books and all of that. They confuse with learning with doing. So I read these books and maybe. And you know what? This is actually something I heard on that Two Bears, One Cave podcast with Tom Segura when he had Ryan Holiday on. They were talking they were talking about inspirational quotes. And a quote doesn't necessarily need to like change your life, but let that be a spark that you can fan into a fire. So not every quote has to do it, but get enough sparks and maybe it starts to gain some traction. But the whole thing is like,
what is your time worth?
Exactly. And it's like the rubber has to meet the road. Once you get enough information on how to fix something, it's time for you to fix it. Once you get enough quotes from David Goggins about getting your ass in the gym, you got to do it. But there are these people that just read all day like, oh, that's just your trauma talking. Oh, I do this because of that. And it's like, so what are you going to do with all that? You have to do something because I can only be sympathetic. Like you're only going to get diminishing returns on my sympathy when it's the same fucking problems. But then because you read the book, The Body Keeps Score or The Untethered Soul, just because you know what's going on, it doesn't mean that you've fought your way out of it. And a lot of people go to therapy. They're like, oh, well, my therapist says this. Okay, great. What are you doing with that?
We also know people that change their therapist because they don't agree with what they say.
Yeah. Yes. And then there are times where I'll be like, I think you should try doing this. And they're like, oh, that's what my therapist said. I'm like, oh, good. Then that must be a good thing. Like, well, I changed therapists because of that. And I'm like, but that is good advice for even people that are not in therapy.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. You don't go to therapy to just hear what you want to hear. And that's the other with friends. Don't go to people that are just going to tell you what you want to hear. You need
to hear what you don't want to hear.
But you need to have friends that tell you what you need to hear. And it's hard. And you got to make sure you're like on the level with a friend that can call you out. But you got to understand, because sometimes people are just haters. But you got to like really make sure you surround yourself with people that genuinely care about you and want to see you do well. Because like there are people that I'm like rooting for. It's not even like, oh, you're my friend, I'm always going to support you. But it's like, no, I really want that to work out for so and so. So find like truly friends that are rooting for you, not just like supportive of you.
Right.
Because just being supportive maybe can be bad. Because you can be supportive, but you're supporting the wrong decision. I don't know. It's tough, man. This was just a little bitching session for me, but I think I needed it.
No, it's just funny that I know you weren't even thinking about it, but we've had that happen in the friend group.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Calling people on their stuff, and they don't want to hear it, you know? But you just have to know that we do it because we care. If we didn't care, we wouldn't say anything.
I can't watch these people kill themselves.
Yeah.
Either with substance abuse or drinking or just bad. Maybe you're not like killing yourself physically, but like killing yourself emotionally by cutting people out, making the wrong decisions for yourself.
Lifestyle, food, etc.
Yeah, exactly. Oh gosh, don't even get me started on that.
Yeah, we won't.
Oh my God, when we had Tina's on, we were talking about working out.
Yeah.
My friend was like, by the way, this is whatever. It's like it was three dudes talking about fucking getting jacked in the gym.
Hell yeah, brother.
If you took that personally, it's because of an issue that you know you have. Mm-hmm. We fucking made fun of Tinez for working his forearms, the calves of the arms. You know what I mean? This wasn't about you. Whatever. I don't know. It's just hard, man. Like you just need to surround yourself with people that are good for you. And like that's the thing with his new job. I found out about it because of some friends of mine that are very supportive of me, want me to do well, and believe in me.
Yep.
They helped me find this job, and I mean, they didn't like apply to it for me, but they were like helping me, and they looked over my resume and my cover letter and all that, and you know, and it was just like, all right, cool. Like I got
Good looking out.
Yeah, I got people like looking out for me, and I've let you know of a couple job openings I've seen. It's like, be there for your friends. If you know your friend is in a place that they want to get out of, don't be afraid to throw them a job opening you heard of.
Right.
I remember Tina's. I was talking about how I don't like my job. He's like, "Oh, we have some openings at my job. Yeah, they start at like 90,000 a year. Feel free to apply." I'm like, "Yeah, but Tina's. I didn't like go to school for like finance or banking or any of that." And he's just like, "Oh, yeah, sorry." I'm like, "All right, I'm glad you think I'm as smart as you, dude."
With my degree, I could probably make it work.
Well, my
but the thing is, do I want to make it work?
Yeah.
Money's nice, but do I want to make it work?
Yeah, and that's the other thing, and that's don't just be pursuing money.
What is your time worth?
What is your time worth? But like, there. Oh my, I can't get it. It's too personal.
But I mean, let me tell you,
it's too personal about someone else. But I know someone that's like so obsessed with money that they're just like, I would be fine hating every day if I can be rich. That's something only rich people get.
I was just gonna say, my time can be bought.
Yeah, but.
To an extent.
But like, what about the people, dude, that go to work and hate their job and make some money, but when you go home, you just still fucking hate existing?
Yeah, see, that's rough. When I leave work, I turn it off.
So if
work's gone.
So if you can be at a job that you don't like, make good money, and when you go home, it's separate, that's one thing. But like, the things I was dealing with every day, it was coming home with me.
Yeah, don't let the negativity follow you home.
And then there are some jobs, like the medical career, for example. We know quite a few nurses. Like, you can like leave the work stuff behind, but because of like there are a lot of emotional highs and lows with medical.
Yeah.
And then like if you're a night shift nurse, that's a whole fucking thing because you're just like nocturnal. But then like on your days off, you want to socialize. Like, so it can like mess up your sleep schedule pretty bad. But you know, and when I used to be like a paramedic, I had my internship with Glendale Fire. That stuff was crazy, man. Like, you wouldn't even like realize it, but you'd be like start stressing out about something and you realize it's because of like a call you went on. And I really enjoyed my time doing EMS. It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't giving me what I wanted. But I don't know, man. If you're not going to like your job, you can't let it come home with you.
That's a whole nother podcast.
I know, dude. We opened a real can of worms.
Save it for next some other time.
Some other time, because I got some other stuff for next week. I don't want to bring two downers back to back. But I don't know. You know, hey, that this podcast is self-help. I think we talked about that.
Is this we're not? Do not keep saying so.
I'm trying to get us off. I can't figure it out.
This is entertainment. I mean, we do talk about some real shit, and don't take it as gospel, but
I must have
if it resonates, it resonates. You know what I'm saying?
I must have like clicked something when I first made us an RSS account. I don't know
you
why.
Were like, we're gonna give out some real advice.
But I don't think we're
We're not
self-help
giving out advice, bro.
I don't think we're self-help on Apple. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think that's where I'm gonna leave it because I don't want to just bitch for an hour. But this was really cathartic for me, so thank you for letting me let this be my bitch session. And I hope that people listening were able to
a talk about.
Yeah, and I hope people at home listening were able to get something out of it, and even if it just means you're not alone. Yeah, I don't know.
What's your time worth?
What's your time worth? Don't sacrifice your time to just be unhappy. If you're sacrificing your time, because time is truly our only non-renewable resource, but we just give it away. But the things that we can renew, like money and other things, we hold on to the thing that we can always get more of. But you will never get your time back. And this is something like Marcus Aurelius talks about. Like why are you so afraid to die? Just so you can keep doing this? So you can keep being unhappy going to work? So you can keep scrolling on your phone? You gotta, and I'm not saying this is like a c'est la vie, rise and grind thing. Not c'est la vie. Carpe diem.
Not saying it's a goodbye. It's a seize the day.
But so I'm not saying this is like a seize the day thing, but it's just like be meaningful with what you dedicate your time to. But I am now going to be dedicating my time, my work life, to something that I have to wait for the job to go for a while before I truly know if it's good or bad, but it's something I feel really good about and it's something I'm good at.
Positivity, baby.
Yeah, so just don't waste your time with things that are just pulling you down, man. I don't know, man. I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. You have any insights or?
I was waiting for you to ask me where they can find me.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I just was making sure that you were okay with me leaving it on that.
That was the head shake, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. All right. So, Brandon, where can they find you?
I am on YouTube at Brandon Churchill. I am on Twitter, Brandon Churchill without the U in Churchill. I have been tweeting. Check the tweets.
Yeah, and I've been retweeting.
Instagram, Brandon_Churchill_95. Yeah, so we recorded several YouTube videos, so we have some content on the YouTube coming out.
Good stuff. I feel like I really like the seltzer video we did most recently.
Yeah, you mean the 2 seltzer videos?
Yeah, that's very true.
There's gonna be 2 of them.
Yeah, but that's something we actually talk about in the video. Is I think we're just ready to be better at this stuff because remember we're like we've had too many good drinks. We can't settle for this swill anymore. We talk about that.
Yep. Go check it out. We do some discussion on how we feel about the seltzer game.
Yeah,
So.
we really went into it. But I think what we talked about, we were kind of like targeting one specific instance.
Yes.
But I feel like because like there's some very specific problems I have with the marketing and packaging of this video. Like but I feel like kind of what we talked about can kind of be applied to a lot of this current seltzer game.
So go check it out.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm really happy with the things that we talked about. But as for me, your host, Thomas, you can find me on Instagram at CaptCoolKid. That is CAPT Cool Kid and Bad Boy of Botany on Instagram. You can follow the podcast on Instagram at Gin and Thomas Podcast. You can follow us on YouTube and Twitter at Gin and Thomas Pod. And I think that's it for our social media.
I think so.
Yeah, but, make sure to find us on your platform of choice. It's probably the one you're listening to right now. But if there are any places that you want to listen and you cannot find us, please let me know, and I'll make it my number one priority to be on there. What else was I about to... there was something else? Oh, like, share, subscribe, comment on the YouTube, on the Instagram. Please rate us 5 stars. Even if you don't like us, rate us 5 stars and then tell me what you don't like about the show.
Yes.
It just helps us bump up and get more listeners. We are trying to turn this into some kind of something. Shout out to the Belgian boy or girl. Let me know where you are. I'll send you a t-shirt.
Shout out to the French hater.
Shout out to the French hater.
We don't know if they hate listen, but...
Yeah, just shout out.
They probably do because they're French.
Yeah, those damn Frenchies. But I don't know, Brandon. I think that's it.
Let me leave you with this.
Okay.
What's your time worth?
What's your time worth? So, everyone, you know how we like to close that out on the show. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and con a boat. Don't drink and scoot. Be kind. Be safe. And drink responsibly. Don't drink alone. Share a drink with friends. Let us share a drink with us. And it requires patience, but sometimes you just have to sit and wait to watch the sun come over the mountains for a brighter tomorrow.
Good day.